a little weak when you open it to speak. Are you smart? But don't change a...
Broadcasting from the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Welcome back to the program on WICR. You're listening to us live on Ustream.tv. You can search WICR right now to watch us live. We're talking about the Speaker Center here at Iona College with Dr. Jarametta and Dr. Ferrer-Paluzzi. We're going to touch on some points if you haven't listened in to the beginning of the program. We're going to touch on some points from the beginning. So let's start off with this question. Why was the Speaker Center founded?
When I first got to Iona 14 years ago, I came from a graduate program that had a speaker center, and I ran their center there. And I saw the importance of having a place for people to come when they needed help in communication, whether that be because they had an accent or they were extremely anxious about communicating. Because of that, I decided that that was a project I was going to start, and I started that my first year here at Iona. And about a year later, it was up and running. And I've continued to be the director. But that's why it was founded, and it was founded for students.
You talk about students feeling anxious about speaking. I know a lot of students, they're going to be going into the workforce after college if they do not go to graduate, or after graduate school, they're going to go into the workforce. So what if a student is feeling nervous about an upcoming interview? Is there anything the Speaker Center can do to help with that?
Yep, we're going to be hosting an interviewing workshop that that students can sign up for, and that will be November 16th on a Monday night, starting at 6 p.m. And we don't know yet when or where that will be, but we will announce it through an email blast. And that's one way. The other way is to contact either Dr. Jarametta, myself. We also have an adjunct, Mary Gray, who runs from Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 a.m. in Almond Hall. She runs some sessions for students who just want to drop by and maybe just role play an interview or to practice a speech. So she's there, and our Speaker Center is open. I know it's early, but it's worth the time, because if you want to practice, you'll do it. So from 8 to 9, Monday to Thursday in Almond Hall, room 204.
So that's definitely great for interviews. I know as a student, when I came here, I had a lot of problems with presenting like a project. I used to be very nervous. Can a student come in to work on presenting skills in general, like say if they want to improve the way they present a public speaking assignment or a project, or just an assignment? Can they come in for that?
Absolutely. Anytime, they can either email me for an appointment, or they can come in during our hours, and then they can come to any one of our workshops. Even if they have a presentation and it's due the next day, if they send me a draft, I am willing to look at it. So whatever help I can provide in the amount of time I have, I will help them.
You talk about email. Is the Speaker Center always person to person? You just talked about email. Could it be digitally as well through Skype or anything like that?
We can do that, and we've actually had some questions from alum who want to come back to maybe brush up on their presentation skills and other things. So we can try to work on that. We may have to move location, I would think, because our Skype is pretty poor in the building we're in, but we could just find another location,
okay,
and that would be fine.
Absolutely. Dr. Jarametta, do you have anything to add with the points we just covered?
Well, the founder of the center has covered them all, I think, Diane. Yes. I do want to mention, too, that we were talking a little bit about the difference between the Speaker Center and the clinic, and anyone can self-identify as someone who is interested in receiving any of these services. So we're open to anyone who would like to improve their speaking or presenting skills.
Perfect. We talk about all these workshops and everything, and I know a lot of people like, for lack of a better word, proof or evidence. What if a question a student may have is, what kind of evidence or proof do we have that the Speaker Center will help me as a student? Are there testimonials, some data about it? Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Sure. We have testimonials on our website and also on some brochures from students. But I've had at least 5 students who have come to me and after graduation and told me that the work they did at the Speaker Center helped them immensely. And they've gotten jobs where they now present every day. So these were
Wow.
students who could not present to me in the beginning and then are now able to present to large companies. So there is that evidence. There are definitely testimonials. And we hear from students all the time that even just that extra practice, you know, even if they're not nervous, but they just want to run it by somebody, that helps. And then they feel better the next day or the day after when their presentation happens for a grade. We're a non-judgmental environment where people can try new things. I've actually had some acting students in the past who have come to me. We've done accent modification for different parts they were playing, or they were anxious about a part. We can help any student on this campus, no matter what they're doing in terms of communication.
And I have one final point. We talked about storytelling earlier in the show. People might think, isn't storytelling for children? Why exactly does the Speaker Center offer storytelling in this setting?
Humans are natural-born storytellers. So the reason why we tell children's stories is because we're giving them the ability to communicate their own stories later on. And that's what we continually do in everyday life. So if someone says to me, "What did you do today?" I tell them the story of my day. So it's a very human perspective. We also know that stories help increase memorability. So if I want my audience to remember something, I will tell them a story. And we also know there's a therapeutic factor to storytelling. So all three of those things allow people to communicate in ways that they might not have felt comfortable otherwise. I think there's a stigma to calling something a presentation, and I think sometimes it's easier for people to open up when it's a story.
Absolutely. Anything to add, Dr. Jeremiah?
I agree, and I think that experiencing storytelling really expands the reach of who you are, and you're able to see yourself in a much greater context, and others are able to gain insight into who you are and connect through a story.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. Any final thoughts before we leave the show?
No, just email us, call us, visit us at 18 President Street.
And maybe we'll announce our 3 workshops that we have scheduled. So
Yes, perfect.
So on October 26th, at 6 p.m., we will be offering our presentation workshop. November 2nd, we'll be offering the storytelling workshop, and November 16th will be the interviewing workshop. All 3 of those, as Dr. Ferro-Paluzzi mentioned, we're working on the setting, but you can always come and find out more at 18 President Street, the Speech House, on the first floor in the conference room.
Okay, perfect. We're here talking about the Speaker Center. Thank you for listening in on WICR. For more information, please contact us at 914-633-2168 or email Dr. Ferro-Paluzzi at dferro-paluzzi@iona.edu. Please definitely come by. Don't be shy. And even if it's for more information, definitely stop in. You're listening to WICR. Follow us on Twitter at WICR1 and on Instagram at WICR_Iona College Radio. Thanks for listening in. Have a good night.
It's a cold and dreary world